we will now start building our custom AF data reference. Every AF data reference is a class library which references the AF SDK and is compiled and registered in the PI system. So the first step in this process is to create a new class library, add a reference to the AF SDK, and take a couple of steps to get ourselves to the stub of what will become our functioning AF data reference. In Visual Studio, we will create a new C# class library. I'll call mine bitmask dr. Okay. The first thing that I will do is add a reference to the AF SDK. Now, because we're working in Visual Studio 2010 here, our project by default references the .NET Framework 4. That's good, because we want to use the .NET 4 edition of the AF SDK. So we add a reference, and as always, this loads in the background. I can go down and sort so that I see both of those AF SDKs, and I choose the one that says .NET 4. Right now, we're not doing anything with the user interface controls, so if you watched our other video where we used the user interface assembly, we do not need that here. Right now, we just need the base AF SDK. Anytime I use the AF SDK, it's normally a safe bet to add some of the most common namespaces here. Okay. Now, just for the sake of cleanliness, I will rename my class here to be a bitmask. This class that we've just created will end up being our data reference. And the way we make it our data reference is by having it inherit from the AF data reference base type. AF data reference, if we go look at the details of this type, is an abstract class that we need to implement. So it has a whole lot of parameters that we can override and virtual methods that we can override as well. All AF plugins need to have an identification, they need to be serializable, and they should have a description. So we will add those to our class here. This will be easier if we add 2 more using statements. One for system.runtime.interruptServices, and another for system.componentModel. Now, above our class, we can start by adding in a GUID. In most versions of Visual Studio, you will have in the Tools menu a Create GUID option. If you don't have that option, and it's not in any of the other menus, well, you can create a GUID yourself. Not a problem. But since I've got this option, I'm going to use Create GUID. And this 5th option right here will wrap the GUID in C# attribute brackets. Create new GUID and copy it to the clipboard. Now we can paste that as an attribute of this class. 2 other attributes that we want, as previously mentioned, is that we want this thing to be marked as serializable. Oops, need a comma after that guy. And to have a description. So the description for this bit mask data reference is that its name is bit mask, and that its description is it applies a Boolean mask. There we go. So now when someone registers this data reference, its name will appear as bit mask, and if they ever look at its description, they will get a nice description. At this point, our class is ready for us to continue by implementing all of the properties and methods of the AF data reference.